Welcome to the Sci-Fi Evolution channel. The emergency sirens at Aurora Station had been sounding for 17 minutes, and Commander Vlar finally paid attention to what was happening. The situation at the station was heating up. The technical staff, consisting of representatives of various species, hurriedly moved through the corridors, following emergency evacuation protocols. The atmosphere was saturated with tension, but Vlar, being an experienced officer, maintained his outward calm, although his inner anxiety grew by the second. He had to figure out the source of the crisis and make a decision that could save or destroy the entire station. Vlar studied the readings intently, trying to find some logic in the chaos of data. The crystal, usually bright blue, now flickered with alarming amber hues as Vlar studied the impossible readings on his console. Lieutenant Kor, who was feverishly working with several interfaces at once, reported that the quantum cascade was accelerating. At this rate, they had no more than 40 minutes left before the complete collapse of the entire system. Every second counted, and every number on the screen only increased the feeling of hopelessness. Vlar could feel the pressure that was building up in the atmosphere. The energy readings were jumping, and the space-time distortions were becoming more and more noticeable. The situation was critical, and traditional methods of solving the problem were not working. The motley crew of the Interstellar Research Station moved with practiced efficiency, but Vlar sensed their growing unease. The Star Elves were changing their color spectrum too quickly. The Zither delegates were making ultrasonic distress calls, and even the normally unflappable drones of the Titan Collective seemed to be operating at elevated frequencies. The problem was both elegant and terrifying. The usual experiment with artificial gravity failed. No one could have predicted that a routine check of the equipment would lead to such a disaster. Every living being on board felt this imbalance, and the fear it caused was almost palpable. Vlar understood that time was running out, and panic among the crew could start at any moment, which would make the situation even worse. Somehow, the local space-time fabric turned out to be inverted. The fabric of reality was being folded inwards, like physical origami, and every traditional approach they tried only accelerated this process. Lieutenant Kor's tone was unequivocal, suggesting the unthinkable. Perhaps they should consider an alternative consultation. None of them had ever encountered such an anomaly. All the laws of physics they knew didn't work. Space and time had lost their familiar properties, and their understanding of the universe was crumbling before their eyes. Vlar could feel despair seeping into every corner of the station. Perhaps the only way out was to seek help from those who are not afraid to break the rules and think outside the box. The crystal structure of Vlar had dimmed, and they both knew what that meant. In the 3 centuries since humanity joined the Galactic Confederation, they have earned a reputation for solving impossible problems using methods bordering on madness. While other species approached problems with logic and mathematics, humans had an alarming tendency to improvise, ignore security protocols, and somehow succeed anyway. The human mind was a mystery to everyone, and their unpredictability was often their main weapon. Vlar weighed all the risks, but they had no other choice. The only hope for saving the station lay in the hands of those who were not afraid to go against the current and find answers where, it would seem, they could not be. "Contact Earth," Vlar ordered, his pride cracking like his voice. "Broadcast of the highest priority." The holographic display materialized moments later, revealing the haggard human face of Dr. Alice Wong, Earth's chief scientist. She was sipping something from a ceramic cup. Her gray hair was pulled back into a messy bun. She had been pondering this situation for generations. "Commander Vlar, what's the matter?" she asked, immediately noticing the signs of concern on his uniform. As Vlar explained the quantum cascade, Wong's expression changed from casual curiosity to intense concentration. She peppered him with quick questions about field harmonics, time displacement ratios, and fluctuations in the gravitational constant. Most importantly, she seemed genuinely intrigued by the problem. After reviewing the data, Wang said, "I understand why you're stuck. You approach this problem as engineers, but we are scientists." Lieutenant Core, somewhat offended, interjected, "Exactly. You think within your field, but this is not an engineering problem, but a scientific one." The bridge went quiet. Even the emergency alarm sirens seemed to linger in confusion. Vlar's voice rose as he improvised. "Listen, your space-time is folding up because you're trying to unfold it," he said. "It's like trying to smooth out crumpled paper with an iron. You just make more creases. Instead," he says, "you need to fold it in a different way." Wang's fingers danced over her portable interface as she sent the specifications for the resonant field generator. She said, "You'll need to build it in about 30 minutes using everything you have at hand." Dr. Wang carefully explained that the device appeared to be constructed primarily from kitchen appliances and musical instruments. "The coffee maker provides precise thermal oscillation," she said. "Violin strings create a harmonious resonance at exactly the right frequency. And the microwave," she added, "well, it's just for synchronization." While the crew hurriedly assembled the incredible Wang structure, Vlar felt optimistic. He seemed strangely calm. Perhaps it was a feeling of acceptance, or perhaps it was that peculiar confidence that people often radiate when faced with certain circumstances. 28 minutes later, they activated the device. The collapsing space-time matrix trembled, twisted, and then, defying all known laws of physics, unfolded into a stable spatial geometry. "How?" Vlar wondered. Wang smiled, raising her cup in a mock toast. "Sometimes the universe just needs to hear a good melody," she said. "Until the next crisis, Commander," she added. The broadcast ended, leaving the crew to stare at their restored reality, wondering, not for the first time, if humans were the galaxy's greatest asset or its most dangerous anomaly.